Hello, this is DIY Reptiles, and today I'm going to be moving my 3 map turtles, 2 Washita map turtles, and 1 Mississippi map turtle into this 75-gallon tank from the very messed up 125-gallon that they were in. Now, this was my Red Sliders Norman's tank, but he has been moved outside, and then these 3 were left inside. And I wanted to set up my 125-gallon properly with the community fish, so I'm going to move the turtles that is, into this tank. So to start off, I did a water change on it. I got out the rosy red minnows and I put them with the rest of my community fish. And then I put in some rocks, as you could see there. And then I started to work on a specific basking area for them. And this I'm building very similarly to the one that's on my 125-gallon tank, but this is specifically built so that they will be able to get on it, because for some reason it seems that map turtles have trouble like swimming real well, and I don't know how much truth there is to that, but that's just what I've found from my experience with these 3 guys. So as you can see above, at this point I had been working on the 125-gallon, and I've added in the turtles as well. Also, this tank is currently running with an FX5, but it won't be running with that for that long. I'll actually be adding a couple of hang-on back filters, I believe. So it's pretty annoying with the way that I built the stand so short. To get a basking area into here, I had to adjust a lot, and the thing was a little bit big, and the wires are a little bit tight. Above that area is a strip, so a lot of wires go to there. But I got it in, and I got it as good as I could get it, so I screwed it in. This is what the tank looks like currently. It is now June 10th, and the last clip was filmed on May 16th, I believe. So here are all 3 map turtles now, and as you can see here, and as you could see in the video where I finally set up this, I now have the FX5 on this tank, and the reason for that is because the gravity is just off here. So you have to have the intake at a certain, you have to have the tank a certain amount taller than the filter, because what this partly runs off of is the water flowing into the filter and the pump pumping it back out, and a lot of the water flowing in is just gravity rather than the filter pulling it. So basically that just did nothing when it was right here, and that really is disappointing, because I know that a lot of people, it seems like they don't keep tanks on the ground, and there's a good reason for that, is because it's really hard to use a water change hose, and it makes it very difficult. So this tank is very easy to do a water change on, this tank not so much, which is pretty disappointing. So right now I just have this one hang-on back filter, and I have another hang-on back filter that I believe that I'm going to put right back there, but this tank isn't actually meant for these guys. It's just temporarily I set it up here, and just the other day I did a water change, so that's why the rocks are a little bit different, and that's why it's actually a little bit clearer. I know it's kind of like foggy in there, but it's not. It was like relatively dirty, like there's a lot of particles in the water. It's not as bad now. But these guys, we have the basking area here, and the reason that I built this basking area is so large is because it's actually the same size as this one up here, and these 3 turtles will be going into a 125-gallon tank. So I believe I have proper filtration for that, and it'll actually be going on the floor, which is pretty disappointing, but it will be going right there. So currently in my room, it's just cleared out right here, but basically this type of deal, another one of these huge stands with this on the ground, will be going right here, and then it'll have the new 125-gallon along with the crested gecko enclosures, which will be different than they are now, and then some 10 gallons, I believe, like that. And you'll see that stuff in a future video, but here they are now. They seem to be doing all right, and I added a heater. I don't know how well it's working right now, but it was from the stock tank. I added it in here because I think PD needs that warmth. But basically the idea behind this, which is kind of a bit of the focus of the video here, is that this is a basking area specifically for their type of behavior. And if you haven't watched the video where I added them in together in this tank for temporarily, then you definitely should, because I talk about their weird behavior. As you can see, they're all on the ground right now, and they all kind of walk like that. So that's why I went ahead and I built a basking area that went all the way to the bottom, and I think that'll work really well with having them in a very large tank this size. And what another neat thing is that this piece of wood is like broken, and I think that's pretty cool. Actually, it actually cracked up there, and I went ahead and re-screwed it in. You can see a screw right there, because I just thought that would be a little bit of a neat thing. But I'll have to develop it a little bit differently, but it should fit pretty much the same on the newsstand, because the newsstand is built with this same system, like this amount of height, which is annoying to work with, honestly, but I don't want to have it take up too much space. Like, obviously, this being open top, I have like, I don't even know, like a ton of inches before I get to this. It works really well, but down here, it's not as well. It's a little bit annoying, but this is the current way that it is. And I have another filter. I'm just not sure if I want to use it. We bought it a while ago. It's in here, and I'm thinking that it's going to be a pretty nice filter. It's a Cascade 300, and it looks really nice, and I'm pretty sure it'd be really nice. And it's rated for the same size tank as this, and I think that's like a 75 gallon, which is what this is. And it was a little bit cheaper than that one, so I want to see how it turns out, but I don't know. I wasn't sure if I'm going to use it, but I think I will, because I think that's what those two filters are what I'm going to have on this tank, because this is basically a tank just for Norman, which is just a really large rated slider, and he'll be in here, and I'll build him his own basking area, but it won't be as big as this. And I made this one so big because we have these 3 large turtles in here, and because this is going to be going on a different tank. But it's kind of disappointing. These guys don't bask like a ton, and when they do, they don't bask unless they can't see me, which is pretty disappointing. So they definitely need to be basking more, and I'm hoping to get them outside at some point during the summer. I just don't know what I'd put them in. I have a bunch of 55 gallons, and I have like 3 sitting out in the garage, and I don't know if I should put them in there maybe, or something else, but I don't want them with the rest of the turtles. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. I'd like them to be in something at least like 75 gallons, but actually I think the plan is once we finish the front turtle area, we'll put these guys in there, because this is a male Mississippi map turtle and 2 big female Washita map turtles. So if they were to hybridize, which is not what I'm trying to do here, I just happen to have these guys together, I would want them to have somewhere to lay eggs. Not that I would necessarily incubate the eggs, just so they don't become egg bound. So it's kind of the plan. But these guys are doing pretty well in here, and it's a interesting idea, I think, with having the piece of wood go all the way to the bottom. Just something a little bit different, but I think something that makes a lot of sense for these guys. I'm not exactly sure what their final scape will be in their new tank, but maybe I'll do like a log that comes all the way up. I don't know yet, but like this one has 1 piece of wood that stretches across the entire thing, like it goes all the way to the corner there. And I'm thinking that I'm going to do a pretty similar thing with the other 6-foot aquarium, just because it is 6 foot, and that's like really cool. So I'm not exactly sure, but I guess we'll find out. And if you want to find out, then subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, then like it down below. If you have comments or concerns, then comments below. And have a fantastic day.